Congressman Sorensen.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Vilsack, for your time today. Your insight, your leadership is essential to help Congress craft a bipartisan farm bill that ensures our farmers, rural communities, and food systems are resilient and thriving. And from my district on the eastern banks of the Mississippi River in Illinois, my thanks to you for your service across the Mississippi and the Hawkeye State. I'd like to talk about crop insurance. It's one thing that I hear from a lot of folks in my district in western Illinois. Since the last Farm Bill, producers received $13 billion in response to extreme weather events, as it has impacted their yield, which is why I will work to protect and expand the crop insurance program in the upcoming Farm Bill. The current safety net does not reflect the current levels of risk, especially in a warming climate, as we see more increasing weather disasters. So my question to you, Mr. Secretary, are there options available and or being developed through the federal crop insurance program to help farmers manage these increasing risks?
We are always taking a look, Congressman, at ways in which the risk management tools available to our farmers can be improved, whether it's expanding coverage or whether it's making sure that we are keeping abreast of prices and what the risk actually is. That's an ongoing process, and we're committed to it. We're committed to crop insurance. We're committed to it as a tool. It's by no means the only tool, but it's a very important one.
I'd like to talk for a minute about biofuels. Last summer, President Biden took bold action to address high fuel costs, issuing an emergency waiver to allow E15 to be sold. As a result, consumers saw the savings in my district of up to 30 cents a gallon and across the country where E15 was sold. As summer approaches, we may see an increase in the price of gas unless action's taken to permit the sale of E15 again. Do you foresee the administration permitting the sale of E15 yet this year?
I know that that's currently under advisement, but the good news is that there's been an indication from the EPA administrator of a desire to make that a permanent fixture in 2024, which obviously would be beneficial. I think one of the challenges, from a national perspective is making sure that the infrastructure that allows for these higher blends to be available to consumers, and that's one of the reasons why it's important to continue to get resources out the door under the bipartisan infrastructure law for the infrastructure and the Inflation Reduction Act. We intend and expect to make, over the course of this year, quarterly awards of resources to retailers to be able to expand distribution systems so that E15 and other higher blends are more readily available.
In Illinois, we're proud producers of ethanol. As transportation goes electric, I've heard from our producers saying, what's going to happen to us as we were producing the corn for ethanol? As their trusted meteorologist for many years in western Illinois, I said, hey, listen, we need to talk sustainability. How do we make sure that we advance biofuels such that airlines and aircraft manufacturers are going to be able to utilize biofuels in the aviation industry?
There's a grand challenge that the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Energy, and Department of Transportation are engaged in. The goal is to get 3 billion gallons of sustainable aviation fuel by 2030. Our role at USDA is to really focus on feedstock and feedstock supply and logistics, and so we have, I think, roughly 26 of our experts basically working on this piece of it, trying to figure out what is the best feedstock, how can we convert it, how do we make sure it's available. The Department of Energy is providing grants for the production of sustainable aviation fuel. This is a massive opportunity. It's a 36 billion gallon industry that doesn't exist today, that will exist, and will more than help those farmers who are concerned about what the next level is. By the way, we're going to have combustion engines for a long period of time, so I don't foresee that we're going to not have the need for ethanol, and we're seeing greater export opportunities as well.
And I think you and I both agree that farmers are going to be the heroes in the climate solution. And with that, thank you, Secretary and Chairman. I yield back.